What does it want? Kirsty said. The answer to this question was obvious to someone like Angus. Food, of course, he said. It's hungry like me. What shall we give it? What do you suppose it will eat? What do you suppose it is anyway? We don't even know what sort of animal it is. It's a monster, said Angus confidently. He had a number of picture books about monsters, and obviously this was one of them. But monsters are big, Kirsty said. Angus sighed. This isn't a monster. This is a baby one. A baby sea monster, said Kirsty. Well, then it would eat fish, wouldn't it? We'll have to catch some fish for it. A happy smile lit up Angus's round face. We don't need to, he said. There's some sardines in the pantry. I like sardines. Opening the sardine can was difficult, but Kirsty managed to turn the key far enough to winkle one out, and they tiptoed upstairs again, carrying it on a saucer. Don't give it everything. It might not like it, said Angus hopefully. But when Kirsty pulled off a bit of sardine with her fingers and dropped it into the bathtub, the little animal snapped it up and gulped it down and chirped loudly for more. It likes it, said Angus. He broke off another piece of the fish, his hand moving automatically toward his mouth. But Kirsty said, Angus, sharply, so he dropped it in the tub, contenting himself with licking the oil off his fingers. And one after the other, they fed the creature the rest of the sardine. Then they went down to the pantry again to see if they could get another one out of the can. With great effort, for the key was very stiff to turn, Kirsty had at last got the can fully open when suddenly they heard footsteps on the stairs and Mother came into the kitchen. Kirsty, she said, whatever are you up to? Who told you you could help yourself to sardines? And long before breakfast, too. It's for our sea monster, said Angus. Don't be so silly, Angus, said Mother sharply. Look at your fingers, all oily, you greedy little boy. And you, Kirsty, you're old enough to know better. We haven't eaten any, Mother, honestly, said Kirsty. And we have got a sea monster. We truly have. Now you listen to me, Kirsty, said Mother. Whatever it is that you two have brought home, a lobster, a crab, whatever it is that you're wasting my expensive sardines on, you will take it straight back. Do you hear me? Oh, no, Mother, cried Kirsty. Please not. First thing after breakfast, it goes back in the sea, said Mother firmly. Where is it anyway? In the bathtub, cried Angus. In the bathtub, said Mother. Oh, no, it's quite happy there, said Angus. Well, that's more than your grandfather will be by now. As I came down, I saw him going along the corridor with his towel and his shaving kit. He will have a fit, especially if it's still hungry, said Angus. But when the three of them reached the bathroom, the door was open and there was Grumble kneeling by the bathtub. With his bald head and his droopy mustache, he looked like a walrus about to take a dip. He was staring silently at the little animal as it padded around in the water, paddled, now glistening with sardine oil. To their amazement, they saw that he was smiling broadly. Grumble smiling. It's that thing you found on the beach after the storm, isn't it, Kirsty? Yes, Grumble, it hatched in the night. I made her put salt in the water, said Angus. I doubt you need have bothered with that, said Grumble. It's an air-breathing beastie, you see, like a seal. Fresh water or salt, I doubt it matters, so long as it has plenty of fish to eat. We've given it a sardine, said Kirsty. Grumble got to his feet. You've a clever couple of kids here, he said to Mother. How I wish I could have found such a thing when I was their age. There were many stories then of this creature, and I believed all of them, but I never thought I would see one. You sound as though you know what this thing is, said Mother. I should, said Grumble. Wasn't I born and brought up on the banks of Loch Morar? And wasn't there supposed to be one of these living in that very loch? What is it, Grumble? Asked Kirsty. Before I tell you, said Grumble, you must promise faithfully to tell no one outside the family, not a word, to any of your friends. Understand? And here's Grumble talking to them. Oh, yes, said Kirsty. Cross my heart. And she crossed it, and Angus crossed his stomach, perhaps by mistake, but possibly because it was to him the most important organ. Right, said Grumble. Then I'll tell you. It's a monster. I told you, said Angus. Always there have been tales of sightings of such a beastie, sometimes at sea, more often in a loch, said Grumble. Oh, when I was a boy, how I longed to see the Kelpie. Is that what it's called? Said Kirsty. That's one name for it, said Grumble, but the other is the one that I like most. Most folks call it the water horse. And that is the end of chapter 2. We have been reading The Water Horse by Dick King Smith, illustrated by David Parkins, and published by Crown Publishers. Join me next time and we will read the next part of the story together. And I am Michelle, coming to you from the children's room at the Portland Public Library. Bye.